Hey, everybody, and welcome to Virtual TrekCon. We've got Mr. Sirach Lofton and Melissa Longo, of course, and right now we are joined by two incredible actors that played Klingons in Star Trek Discovery, Mary Chieffo and Kenneth Mitchell. How you guys doing? Round of applause. So, first things first, thank you so much for joining us. This is really cool, and we're giving people a reason to stay home, watch something, relax, sip a cool beverage, whether it's lemonade or Mike's Hard Lemonade or strawberry lemonade. Those are the only kind of drinks there are, right?
Just three.
First things first, though, after that, Mary Chieffo, tell us about your shirt.
Oh, yes. So I'm wearing tie, and I have my batless necklace by Make It So. But the time shirt is from the cruise this year. I got to wear, I was part of the time group. I was in the in crowd with Ken and his buddies when we had the epic rave, Klingon villains rave, which was just one of the most amazing nights ever. And particularly now that we are not able to be in any sort of contact with each other. But it was a really magical night where we really celebrated and literally lifted Ken up, and it was amazing. And yes. I thought I would also honor, since he is both my antagonist in two different forms and my son. So I wanted to pay homage to my awesome son and wear his time shirt.
That's true. How many people can say that?
Yeah, I mean,
my antagonist and my son.
Full circle.
Kenneth, you're wearing a Be Kind shirt.
A little trivia for you. Mary and I are so close that she has even wiped my butt.
This is
wow.
Yeah. I'm keeping it real on them.
We're keeping it real here. What we call the brown badge.
Yes.
With my illness, I have caregivers that have to take care of me. And when I was on my way to the cruise, Mary was my caregiver. Oh. And I had to go to the bathroom before the flight. And poor Mary, but she was so wonderful, and God bless her. She is my everything. I really appreciate her so much.
Thank you for saying that.
And now she has her brown badge.
Yes. My brown badge, and yeah, it's been such a, I've been so grateful that I, particularly on the cruise, got to be there for Ken, that we traveled together, and we've been through the trenches together from the get-go, so it wasn't too much of a switch to just continue to be there for him in any and all capacities. So it's my honor, my Klingon honor, to have a
nothing like a mother's love,
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
I didn't get to do, because the sad thing is that she only got to be with Tenevik for that tiny little period of time.
Yeah, we were making up for lost time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time.
And Kenneth, you're wearing your Be Kind shirt, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
With my signature on it. There we go.
Oh. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful charity that's headed up by Raymond and Chase and the Pop Culture Coalition, and they help raise money for anti-bullying for youth, and I'm really proud of them for the work they've done, and it was wonderful to collaborate with them on a new shirt to help raise some funds for that charity. So I really appreciate being a part of that experience. If you're looking for a link, you can always go to my Instagram and check out my bio and get a link and grab one of these t-shirts.
Great. We'll also include that in the description box below. We've got some charities that Mary sent us as well, and we've got the ALS website there, and we'll add that in. I'll get that from you.
Yeah.
Scott Jensen, I think he's referencing your story, says, Ken is real as hell.
You're gonna put me on a panel. There's gonna be something like that.
I know.
Yeah.
I love how his story started off with poop, and then like a really sweet story about how much he cares about Mary, and then right back to brown bag.
Yeah.
Like a roller coaster.
That's part of the fun. That's what I enjoy the most about our friendship. No, but it is true. The way in which we're able to be extremely goofy and then extremely serious or extremely sentimental within minutes is one of the most fun, exciting aspects of just our friendship. We can be totally ourselves with each other, which is the dream with any relationship, is that, and I just talking about, I'm sure we'll talk more about all our various adventures throughout the years as Klingons, but I always felt that we could, there would be days where one or both of us was stressed about something, but it often was enough that like on the days that Ken really needed someone to be like, it's fine, I could be there. But then the other days I'd be texting him like, what am I supposed to do? And then some days we're like, okay, we're going to team together. But I always found that the dynamic always worked out pretty well, that one person was feeling more sane than the other on any given day.
Were you guys ever in the makeup chair together, or since you're working separate days a lot of times that they had you staggered?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, early on, we were always working with each other. We were in the makeup chair together. Hugo was the one that did my makeup for Kol and Shaw, and Mary had James. Both of them are 7 Emmy-time award winners.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they're hopefully going to be up for another one for Picard.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugo is still on Discovery, but those guys are unbelievable what they do.
Yeah.
We logged a lot of hours with those guys.
Yeah.
We love them dearly.
Yeah. They have to be there, before we are to set everything up, and then they put everything on us, and then they have to be there all the hours we're there to make sure that our faces aren't falling off. But it's actually a really fun Hugo story was in the second season for Point of Light, and we had done the fight sequence all day on the last day of filming, and as a consequence, my bottom half of my face was really starting to fall off. And like it was just squish, squish, squish. It's not unusual, but it was so much that he really felt that there needed to be an adjustment, and he went full MacGyver. I remember, I don't know if you witnessed the whole thing, Ken, but he literally took me to like the side studio and was like, okay, we've got 5 minutes. Went to costumes. He's like, you guys have zip ties, right? And they're like, yeah. He's like, get me 3 zip ties. And then he literally, because I had the hair, thankfully, was able to cut a hole in the back of my neck and zip tie it. So he gave me basically like a facelift for the last few scenes because he close-ups. And he wanted my face to be as tight as possible. But it was amazing. He did it in 5 minutes, pulled it all together, and the costume, team, it was just such a great group effort. But, that's just one of a million examples of both Hugo, James, and Rocky, their whole team. They want it to look as good as it does. So they really did. But in answering your question, yeah, I feel like near the beginning, episode 4 was our first time interacting as characters, and that we were pretty much in the same scenes together. So I remember that. And I remember before we were in the prosthetic trailer, the first time Shazad and Ken and I ran lines together. We were at Shazad's apartment, and I hadn't heard Ken speak his Klingon at all, like what his voice was, who Kol was. And he, it's a very different voice from Ken's. And I remember just being like, whoa, this is totally different.
Yeah, that was a really special time when we very first started delivering our Klingon together. It really was like like an opera.
Yeah.
We didn't fully understand what everyone was saying, but the emotions and the intent were behind it, and for some reason it just started to feel magical and flow together, and it was really special that first time.
Yeah.
Right, because you guys obviously knew what lines you were saying, but did they tell you what the other lines were? Did they just kind of give you a brief synopsis of what those lines were?
Well, we would get back translations of the full Klingon scenes. So, and we would have time, and certainly with episode 4, we had a fair amount of time to prep before the episode, and we worked with Rhea Nolan, our dialect coach specifically. Robin Stewart, our translator, would translate it, but then Rhea was really the liaison between the words and our delivery. And I remember drilling it. We would have like 2-hour sessions drilling it together. And I have a very different technique than Ken does. I'm very I like to go sentence by sentence, word for word. I mean, Ken does it in his own way, but that's how I would drill it with Rhea. But then once we were all in Toronto, then we kind of did a mixture. I remember that we went to Shazad's and we would do kind of the literal back translation English. So we would all get a sense of oh, right, that word is kind of hitting that. That's what Ken's really that's a moment that he's really hitting. Then we would do it fully in Klingon, fully in English, as was in the original English script. We really just played around until we felt we had a sense of the general emotional arc, so that we could play more on set on the day. But there was no way we were going to get to that if we didn't take those extra hours. And I'm so grateful to Ken and Shazad, who always, showed up to do those extra sessions that, we just did it because we wanted to do good work.
Yeah.
I think Chaos Arya misspelled Kales. Sentiment's good there still.
Okay, yes. Kailash.
Oh, were you able to? Do you know what this means? Kapla, we know what I can't even say.
Oh, Klingon Mach.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
We are Klingons. It's success. We are Klingons.
Got it.
Nice. Whoa. Impressive.
It was a batleth drop.
I think people out there should know that, that you guys are just, Mary and Ken are some of the nicest people that I've ever met. And,
StreamYard doesn't compliment.
So nice.
The dies out as soon as you say something nice.
Sabotage.
Oh, there he is. He disappeared on my screen.
Let me hang on one second. Let me bring him back.
Oh.
Go.
Sirach loves us so much that he disappeared.
It's that level. That level.
While he's recalibrating the power couplings, Tamia Harper says, "Yay! Thank you all so much for being here." Really, a lot of people have been saying how much they appreciate you guys coming in. Kenneth, I know it's not always easy or ever easy, so we really appreciate your time. Mary, you've dedicated extra time to us and kind of putting together a couple extra things for us. So we really appreciate the effort both of you have given us, above and beyond. Guys, yeah, so everybody at home, no, these guys aren't just showing up all grumpy, fine, I'll do it. They're as Sirach was saying, they're two of the nicest, warmest, most supportive people of the fan base. You guys have been so good to the Star Trek fan base. And I really hope that the Star Trek fan base has been good to you in turn.
Yes. Well, thank you for saying that. And it really is, I know, my pleasure, and particularly being here with Ken is such a joy. But yeah, the community is amazing. I mean, at this point, that's what gets me to show up. Is I've had so many incredible experiences in person and online with this community that that's the motivation for sticking to it. Is I want to be able to pay back that joy in any way I can.
Hmm. Somebody with eagle eyes, Kristen Mackey says Kenneth has a batleth in the background too.
Yeah.
Warrior.
And a T-Rex. My son also loves Jurassic World, Jurassic
Oh,
Park.
cool. Where did you get the?
There's my mantle is a Klingon ship.
Oh wow, cruiser
Oh.
Yeah.
or a warbird. Where did you get the batleth?
Good question. When we first were on we were still on the first season of the show. There was a Christmas party at Star Trek licensing that John Van Sitters invited us to, Mary, myself, and Mary Wiseman, and my wife Susan went. And during the time we were there, they have this amazing room where they have all this wonderful licensed products, and we got to go in there and select a few things. And one of the things that I took home was the batleth,
Wow.
and my son plays with it all the time.
Yeah.
You just kind of take whatever you want. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like
I got a Klingon robe. I got a couple of tribbles and a couple of Klingon books. Oh, and some Klingon beer.
yeah.
Ooh.
is it Warnog?
I scored.
I think it was the Warnog. I'm not a beer drinker, and I like took a respectful sip, and I was like, wonderful. All the Klingons.
It is the honorable thing to do.
Yes, very honorable. But it is amazing. I mean, the fact that there are actual, Klingon beers and all that. I mean, all of that stuff is just amazing. I was gonna say it was like Christmas, but it literally was the Christmas party.
Oh.
Because they had all of these extra things that we could grab, and I also got a batleth, and a few other. I got a fun number one dad like glass for my dad, and I don't know, like a Delta mug and various things. But I remember that too, because Mary Wiseman was in town randomly, like working or something, and she had texted me, I think that day. And Ken and I had already, we knew we were gonna go with Susan and all that. But then Mary was like, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "Do you want to go to Long Beach and go to the licensing Star Trek party?" And she was like, "Yeah, I do." And we all, because it's like an hour drive. That was a really fun, very special.
It was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
they put on a great spread.
Yeah.
All the desserts and food were all designed in some sort of Star Trek theme.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real testament to how wonderful our Star Trek community is. Who would think that you'd become close with Star Trek licensing and all the different departments, but there's just such wonderful people all across the board, and you get to interact with them all the time at the conventions and on set and stuff. So my hat goes off to the whole community. Up to John.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Garrick popped in with some shenanigans when you're trying to give compliments. Would you like to finish what you're saying? Sorry about that.
Yeah, they're jamming my signal over there. But I wanted to say that really awesome people. That meeting you guys was a pleasure and a real joy. That still continues to this day. You guys are some of the most down-to-earth people, and you could tell when you deal with people that are pretentious or, full of themselves. And I want people out there to know that you guys are really humble and just awesome people to go out and support and make sure that you show your love to these people, because they deserve it. And they are really talented and just warm-hearted, really good people. And I'm glad that you're part of the Star Trek family, because we'll be seeing each other for years to come.
Mhm.
Well,
Thank you.
so much, Rock. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a second.
Yeah, Melissa was with me actually when I first saw you guys. When
Yeah.
Erin and Melissa and I, and we were all together. I think it was in London somewhere or in England.
Oh yeah,
And
Birmingham, I think.
yeah,
Destination.
and just
Yeah.
yes, and just seeing you guys there, I said, I was just like, those guys are cool. Love to talk to them. It's also good to have like a new batch of young energy infused into the franchise, because a lot of the actors were I'm the youngest, so finally seeing people that were my age or younger was a great thing, right?
Yeah,
Finally,
totally.
25 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. So I've been waiting and praying for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, so
when
great
I
to see you.
saw you, it was like, who is this guy with the cool hat and the kicks?
Yeah.
I like this guy. I want to get to know him. And when I did finally get to talk to you, you were even cooler and nicer than you looked, man. So I appreciate all the love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say the same thing about the guy with the flannel and the beanie and the gloves on?
Yeah.
That's an Aaron Iceberg reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was happy to have new people to play with. and that you all were so receptive to his energy.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, energy recognizes energy. I feel like that's
Yeah.
very true. Part of why Ken and I came together when we did, like, from meeting each other on set, and then it was like, oh, we're these types of people. Great, good, another one, haha. And I did want to say too, like, I was during that year, that was our first real convention year, and it was the 25th anniversary for Deep Space Nine, and I'm a real Deep Space Nine lover, so I was just geeking out all over the place. I was just seeing all you guys like, hey, like, I think they're really cool. So it was like a triple thrill because, like you said, like to be like, actors that I had admired on screen and stories I had loved, and then to realize, we're of a similar energy and passion was really a thrill.
Yeah. Did you guys ever get a chance to meet JG and Bob O'Reilly?
Yes. Yeah. We've had definitely a lot of interactions with Bob. I've met JG, but I'm hoping to connect with him more. I know that I think there's like a Chancellor talk in our future.
That would be great.
Good.
And I love Martok. He was definitely, there was a lot of his story that different from Laurel's, but it's certainly an ascending to power. There was a lot I took from what he did and his performance. But yeah, both of them are just so lovely. Bob actually at that Birmingham convention, right? He crashed we had our duo panel and he came on in full regalia.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's always great.
Those guys have such great spirits, and they've been very welcoming of the new Klingons and the new cast, so it feels great.
Yeah.
You're part of that Klingon.
Yeah, I went out drinking with them one time at a convention, and it was a Klingon drinking party.
Oh man!
All parties are Klingon drinking parties.
It was about as rowdy a party I've been to at a convention. So
that tracks for sure.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout out, Rex A. Wood, who's one of our associate producers on The Seventh Rule. He says, Ken, you are amazing. Your courage. This is from a veteran who's also a double amputee, calling you courageous. So that's high praise there.
Thank you, Rex. I feel your love and support. Thank you. That means a lot.
Megan Miller says, it was a pleasure meeting y'all on the cruise.
Yay! And I love that you used y'all. We love y'all.
It's so
That's a great word.
I think that we were on that cruise in March. Like, what a great experience. And to think a couple weeks later, we're in isolation in our homes. We're really, blessed to be able to have that experience.
Yeah.
While we did, and truthfully come out of it healthy. So
Yeah.
No, very, very grateful.
Quick mention for Heidi Borter. She says, hate to mention it, but I'm going through a really rough time right now. This series, VTC, Virtual TrekCon, is helping me escape.
Oh.
You guys know any, I don't know if there are any nice words in Klingon, but if there are any,
I'm trying to think. Momaj is good.
Good. We did it.
And katlo, which is thank you, which we rarely say. I only said it once to Vogue when we were flirting. That's the only time I think it might have been ever said. I don't know. Can you think of anything?
Well, this might be a time to not necessarily speak Klingon, but just say live long and prosper.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think we all have gone through things that make us stressed and feel a certain type of way, and the key is to know that those times don't last and good things are on the horizon. So we're going to pray for you making it through your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I agree.
Billy Chung, you already read ahead. Mary, I saw as soon as I put it on, you smiled. You read ahead.
I can't help it. I just saw it.
It's Chancellor Khan, and you're taking your sip, and you're like, "Ooh, I like that idea."
Well,
That would be
let's do a survey then for everyone that's watching. When we're in our prosthetics, it's incredibly hot and sweaty. And when they take off the prosthetics, there's so much sweat that comes pouring out. And they often describe it like hot dog water.
Yep.
My question to you is, if you had to boil a hot dog in Kol's sweat or Mary's sweat, who would you boil a hot dog in?
Oh my gosh.
That's for the three of them to answer.
That's the first question ever. The first time that question's ever been asked. I'm pretty sure.
Oh man.
That's a throwback to the person that said Ken is real as hell.
Yeah. High stakes on the
it brings a whole new meaning to the term dirty water dog.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
I didn't eat those either.
No.
Yeah, I'm going vegan on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fully support.
Yes.
Fully support it.
Vegan dogs are delicious.
They are.
I think.
I think everyone after that question is going to become vegan.
There we go.
Right.
Making the world a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot dog will never be the same.
Yeah. That is like, James McKinnon, that is his like coined term. Hot dog water. And some days are worse than others, usually obviously the longer 18-hour days. And my worst hot dog water day, I love that was actually at Point of Light. That final week of filming, we had I think 3 days of filming that week or 2. And I woke up that Monday with a sinus infection, and I was like, no. And I remember texting Ken and being like, I don't know, and like got like bunches of spicy food from various restaurants and just like tried to clear it out. But I was still not 100% by that Wednesday when we filmed, and we made it through. It was a lot of fun. Hugo having to help me blow my nose and all that, like with the prosthetics, all really good stuff. But at the end of the day, I remember them cutting through, and it just like gushed out because and I just spilled my
Oh no.
in real time. That's basically what happened. Oh my god, this is hilarious. All right, y'all
You
keep
can take a
talking.
minute.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead
get
and take
to
a minute.
the show. This is great. And Mercury's out of retrograde. It's just me.
So we can now reflect on hot dog water for a few moments here and just really soak that up, I guess. Ken, do you remember a moment that was actually like the first time they took off all these huge prosthetics, and after having them on for hours, does it just feel like the most incredible feeling, or is it one of those things where you feel like it's still there for a minute, you know?
No, it's the moment that last piece of glue peels off your face. It's just pure bliss. But then it gets better when they bring the hot towel. I'm telling you guys, when they put that hot towel on your face, I mean, I've never done heroin, but I know that it feels like that. I mean, it's just pure bliss. You're just sitting there. It's like an outer body experience when that hot towel goes on your face. And it's really part of the reward of enduring the prosthetics for such a long period of time. You get a little bit of a spa at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, yeah, weirdest spa day ever.
Everything good, Mary? Sandy says you're cut off.
You're cut off.
I'm if you can hear me, I'm great. It's great. No, it's all cleaned up. It's a little sticky, but we're great.
This is somebody from the cruise. Andy says, Miss Ken and Mary from the cruise, Melissa and Sirach, we hope you join us on the cruise soon, like next week, even regardless of whether there's a cruise or not.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Andy. We've had a few fun run-ins.
I was worried about you guys on the cruise. I think Nana was on there too.
Yeah.
And I was just worried because it was so much going on.
Find Mary.
That was when you were gone for a second, I guess.
I'm glad everyone was so concerned.
She was only gone for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Wow. My reputation precedes me. What? I don't know if that works.
Kirsten Mackey says, Kenneth is too funny. He paints pictures with words just so well. Is that something you kind of always had, Ken, or have you developed this wordsmithing at a later age?
No, I really enjoy that comment. It makes me sound like I'm some sort of poet, but I really enjoy doing these conventions and panels because they give you an opportunity to be a goofball for a good hour or two, and then also share some stories and insight. It's all about a balance, but I don't mind being a bit of a goofball for a while and try to get a few laughs. Yeah.
It's always a treat to be on a panel with Ken. I never know what funny anecdote or wordsmith. It's always a good surprise. Yeah, really. And I'm so grateful that we've been able to do so many together, because even though I can think I know where it's headed, and then and it goes a totally different direction. It's excellent.
About poop or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Whoops.
Try to be classy.
Melissa, you're actually rewatching Discovery right now, right?
Yeah, I started rewatching it just recently.
You were saying that the Klingon scenes really stand out to you. We were talking about it just like today. So.
Yeah, just earlier. No, I'm just really impressed by all of the Klingon language. I'm impressed that there is a whole language that is that is made up. It's unique to Star Trek, and the commitment is, you can see the commitment that you both made in, well, all of the Klingons made in learning the language and embodying the Klingons, and I really enjoy the Klingon scenes.
Oh,
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Always is, as you guys know, it's a team effort. It's not just coming from us. There's
Right.
a whole team of people that work together to pull this off, from costumes to the set and props, and we have a linguist, and Rhea is our help me out here, Mary. What's the word I'm looking for?
A dialect coach.
Dialect coach, yeah.
Mm.
And so, we couldn't have pulled it off without the whole team. So we're
Hey,
really,
guys.
grateful for that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly, Commander Saru has something to say to you guys. I love my Kay and my Mary.
Huggles.
Douglas of Huggles.
Douglas of Huggles.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of nice people,
Yeah.
they don't come any nicer than Doug Jones. He's epitomizes the identity of love and hugs and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of a kind, and I'm really blessed to be able to be his friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I second all of that. And also just, for us getting to speak with Doug Jones about prosthetics, my God, like, even if I wasn't doing prosthetics, it would be an honor, and to be able to do it. And one of my favorite moments was at the first table read. It was my first time meeting him, and I was like, yeah, it's my first time doing prosthetics. And he said, oh, precious. And but there was I asked if we could get coffee at one point, and he's just been so open and kind and supportive of all of us figuring it out, and just to get to watch his work on the show and behind the scenes is just such a gift. So love you, Dougie.
Yeah, Doug's one of the most wonderful humans in the world. I do feel bad though, because I had a friend for like the first 10 years of living in LA, where I'd be like, this guy is the nicest guy I've met in LA. And then I met Doug, and I was like, dude, I have bad news. You're no longer you're still number two, man. He's like, that's okay, man. I get it. It's okay. Yeah. He's a wonderful human.
Yeah, Doug sets that bar really high.
Very high.
As far as nice guys go. Yeah.
I love that. Sorry, man. Now it's nice.
There was another. Okay, I don't. Does this even warrant an answer? Can we get a hot dog sweat and heroin hot towels Klingon T-shirt as con merch?
No.
Rock, I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see if the demand is high enough.
Yeah.
Do you guys get recognized a lot on the street by fans? Do they approach you and say, "Oh my God"?
Not so much in LA. I mean, we do obviously at the conventions but we're covered in prosthetics, and I get recognized more for other shows, not necessarily for Star Trek. But I love interacting with the fans, and I've always appreciated the love and support. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's also been great being on a show like this in the world of social media. Because before, I mean, when even with Sirach, when you were working, there wasn't really that same platform and interaction with fans. So it's a whole different element to the relationship and the community. And in a wonderful way, it can be a real wonderful tool. And to be able to interact with them and see the fan art and the responses in a very quick time has been really wonderful. And I love the engagement. And for me personally, with my struggles, with my illness, it's been really important in in helping me along and making me feel supported and loved. So I've always appreciated that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean I just agree that the social interaction online just contributes to the in-person interactions, because I've had so many instances where yeah, I mean, Steffi being one shining example of an artist online who created work that I loved, and we communicated online until we met at a convention, and then we've continued to build that relationship over the years. And there have been so many culminations of moments of positive interactions online that then I'm that person that posted that thing when they come to my booth or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I've had a few instances, because I'm a real deep diver, like I'll find the videos talking about Laurel or whatever. So I've had a few instances, like Jessie Gender, who I actually just was in one of her new videos about Trek. I had seen the video she had made about Laurel, and we met in person at a play reading, and I recognized her, and she was like, what? And it's like moments like that are just so delightful, because I am a geek myself, and being able to share that passion with the fans is just so thrilling. And I will say, though, in recognition, I've had a handful of, like, I say, like, coffee shop recognition moments that like blow my mind. Like, the people clearly like follow me on social media, because I don't know how else they would. But one of my favorites was right after the finale of season 2. I was at coffee shop, and the barista was like, did you just help like save all sentient life in the galaxy? Like, and I was like, I did do that. And it was so neat. And I just like, and it was like a day. Like, I was kind of like needing that coffee. And so it just brightened my whole day. And it was so lovely. So I've had a handful of moments like that, which are really lovely, because they really take me by surprise. Bless you, sir. Or Kalish, bless you. No.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say your coffee shop encounters were like the Starbucks at Star Trek Las Vegas or something like that.
Yeah.
You probably get a lot of those.
Yes, that's definitely true. Oh, love from Dougie.
Also, quick word about Doug. He will be on the Discovery panel with a few other castmates, Raven, David, and who's the other one?
Hannah Spear, right?
Spear, exactly. Sarana, who plays his sister, right? So they're going to be on Sunday. So check that out, everybody. And
That's
Doug,
a great group.
and when we read his thing, we read it in his voice, don't we?
Yep. There's love.
Very quickly, Melissa, Joe Colton says we need to get you in a Klingon costume.
Okay.
Yes.
We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
You were
It's like, it doesn't sound great.
Go.
That's a good question. What is your favorite Klingon word to say? I had a word in my first appearance on episode 2, and I think in the edits it kind of got faded out. But originally, all the Klingons holograms were talking and arguing. And I was in the forefront, and I got to turn around and say, "Badamcho," which means "shut up."
Nice.
I always loved that. And then what was the other one, Mary? Food is
So, yeah. That was
yeah.
We had to, because that scene where Voke and I come back to the ship and Kol has like gotten everyone's trust or alliance by bringing them food, and we every time we'd walk up, and Ken had to do it so many times where we would turn around and go Soj. I remember just being like, oh man, it's a classic. It's a classic.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a curse word I learned. Kulvak. I just saw my spit there.
Mary.
You got to spit a little bit when you speak Klingon, right? There's a little spitting involved.
It's true. It's kind of part of the job description. But yeah, that's a fun one. And then I actually.
What does that word mean?
They don't say. It's like the worst curse word. So I'm assuming
Okay.
I won't say it because I'm not sure. But I remember looking at it. I was like, that's fun. I just love anytime that big Q is around, it's like, you're in for a good time. Yeah.
And a lot of spit.
Yeah.
Chris Hertz says, I was also very impressed with how much work they put into the Klingon language creation, how well the actors portrayed their characters. You guys had a ton of prep, right? Kenneth was telling us like weeks in advance, at least for him. I mean, whether it's learning the entire language ahead of time or trying to, or just the hours that you spent before ever step into it, right?
Yeah. And, the idea, like I said, episode 4, I feel like was maybe the most, for the amount of language, and we had the most amount of prep before that episode because we were not in the 3rd episode. So there was a little bit more of a space. But unfortunately, there were also times where we would have loved 3 weeks of prep and we had 3 days. And that's why we're so close.
There were times where they, with the writing, you just couldn't avoid some rewrites. And unfortunately, with the Klingon language, you change one word in English and it just messes up the whole sentence that you memorized in Klingon, and you're basically have to start again. But there were a few episodes or scenes where, not to give too much of the magic away, but we had to read off of cue cards because we just didn't get the material in time. But even with the cue cards, you have to, I still feel proud of the fact that we got to a point where we were able to read Klingon phonetically at a pace where we could look at it on the cue card and make it sound naturalistic.
Yeah.
So, it still was challenging, especially when the cue cards are so small and we have contacts in and all the other elements, and you're tired. It's, working for 15 hours in prosthetics and you still need to deliver that close up. But we got it done, and we were motivated and inspired to always do the best job we could because Star Trek is important as much as we could.
Yeah, that particular episode, the episode 8, where we had Kol and L'Rell had 2 very big interactions on the sarcophagus ship. That was the one where we really had to get it together within a few days. But I will say that, but another funny part was that when the camera wasn't on us, we couldn't have the cue cards because they would be in the shot. So we had to semi-improvise. Like we were pretty solid in knowing it. I still am very impressed with both of us, the way in which we were able to know most of it by that day. But there were a few moments where it was more important to keep the rhythm of the scene. So we knew that. So there were a few times where I would just be like, wow, me, wacha, wow, Kazumba Zumbake. And then like, but it was like the right, like I knew it was that a length of time so that Ken could have that rhythm of what I was emotionally giving to him. And it was quite an experience, but we really did. And that was, I always talk about this day because we went until 6 a.m. It was a fratter day, as we and it's the whole where Kol puts the paint on my face and all that. And so that was like right near the end, the whole paint stuff. And you're so tired and your brain is fried, but Rhea, bless her, is there to shout the Klingon if we need it. And but we did it. And that was, we had bonded in episode 4, but to me that was like such a big moment in just both as actors and as friends, that we were like, okay, this person's gonna pull it out because we care.
Yeah.
And it kind of, and that was, I guess I can't even remember what that must have been during the summer, because that was that before we went to Vegas.
It
for that
was
first
like,
time.
it was extra hot. Like it was really hot.
Right, on top of everything. But yeah, I think that was kind of, it was like we had done this really intense episode together, and then we started helping to promote the show, and it was all kind of this, because the show was started airing as we were still filming. Like it was such an interesting circumstance with that first season, that everything was like one thing on top of the other, that we were getting to know the show as it was being promoted, as it was starting to air, as we were still filming. And yeah, it's pretty wild.
Fratter Day, I like that one.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. We got just a couple minutes left, but very quickly, we've got an amendment. Scott Jensen reminds us that's Captain Saru. Oh, okay. We're hoping so. We love Saru. We love Doug. We covered that. And the other one was, Mary, please tell everyone how Doug helped you at the start of Discovery.
Well, just in all the ways. I mean, the simplest thing of like, if he was in the trailer when I was getting made up, just he would always come over and be like, check in, how you doing? When I was getting my full body prosthetic that one day, he was like, oh, I've been there, like very supportive. But we did, I know that we had more than one coffee date, but there's one very distinctly in my mind pretty early on where we went, got some coffee, walked around downtown Toronto, and I picked his brain about his past experiences and asked about his longest time in the makeup chair, and which I believe was 11 hours before.
Wow.
That's just getting ready for the Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. But just so lovely, and just talking to, I mean, I think we've all made that clear that that's so who Doug is, but his appreciation of the storytelling and of the character, and that was, I think, a big it wasn't so much a question, because that was definitely my intent, and I know Ken's as well, is like, it's not this like other creature that you're distanced from. It's like about making sure it's so filled with your personal, whatever acting work you need to do to make it deeply emotional and personal for you, because then you're having to push it through so much more than you would with just your human face. And that's something that Doug definitely brings to all of his roles, is that deep spiritual connection to who the character is, and you see it in all of them. So that was a big part of our conversation as well, was just like that there's no superficial quality. You have to be not, I don't want to say more authentic, I don't want to compare, it's apples and oranges, but that there's a certain level of authenticity that must be there. And I found too, for me, because my eyes were one of the biggest windows in for Laurel, that if my eyes, you could tell if I was lying. So I had to be 100% authentic in my experience as the character. And I think we bonded over the fact that I definitely love extreme characters, and getting to transform. But I'm also a total goofball in real life. So that was also because Doug is this wonderful, buoyant human. So I think we identified with having to do some tough characters, which he gets to be close to himself in a lovely way as Saru, but definitely in the past has played some pretty intense creatures. So those are a few.
Yeah.
Your mother.
Or it says your mother wears combat boots is actually a compliment in Klingon.
That tracks. And I do. Mother definitely wears a lot of combat boots. Not in the past few months. They're just sitting there in my closet like, but I do love my big boots.
Well, I think that's about all the time we have.
Wow.
We really appreciate you guys joining us. Unless you want to stick around for one more question.
I mean, I don't know. I love these things so much. It's just getting to hang out with friends and talk about wonderful experiences. So it's always.
Somebody else said in the comments that you were a goofball when you said it too, but I think it's definitely the both of you. Ken's not going to escape that easily.
No. Yes. I would get in trouble on set, particularly in Point of Light, because Ken and Shazad are the biggest goofballs and would do everything to make me laugh. Ken is also being like this. He was, what was it, like evil Santa, and he'd be like, "What do you want for Christmas, little boy?" And like just the silliest thing. So yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful for that. That was a real great contrast in the intensity of what we were dealing with in the plot, and then just being able to laugh even though I was getting in trouble.
Well, on our way out, a couple people are saying thank you to you. Thank you, brilliant panel. You're amazing, Kapla. This was nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kenneth, for wearing the Be Kind t-shirt. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Love you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at this love. There's too much of it. There's
never too much. Never too much.
Yeah.
Muhammad Noor was in our panel right now. And Doctor.
Yeah. I think it's awesome, Mary, too. I was pleasantly surprised. I said, "Wow, she's so beautiful," and you can't tell how beautiful you are when you see you in all that makeup. But then when I saw you in person, I said, "Wow, she's a very beautiful woman."
Well,
pleasant surprise.
Thank you. Yeah, Laurel is beautiful in her own right in a very Klingon way. But yeah, it's fun to have that contrast, and I like being all different sides of myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was noticing how beautiful Laurel actually is, and that really comes through her eyes, as you said, and yeah, nice work in that. Yes.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kol is beautiful too.
Of course.
Kol is hot.
Yes.
Kol is hot, and so is Tenevik. Kol's hot he's a little, but yeah. There's some handsome, and I remember too when Tenevik was when that episode came out. I remember a lot of people being like, "Why am I so attracted to this Klingon?" Like I remember that why am I hot for Tenevik? Like it's the whole. I think you saw that, but I was a proud mama. I was like, that's right. That's right. I have a very
some good genes.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Great.
Thanks for all the love and things.
It's gonna keep going.
So many lovely people.
We have such a great family.
Anne Marie says, "I love."
Anne Marie.
I love Anne Marie.
How come there's only 7 O's? Come on. I love you, Anne Marie.
All right, everybody, we better run. But we really appreciate it. We really appreciate everybody tuning in to say nice things as well. You guys, like I said, you go above and beyond for us and for the fans. And the fans totally love you and totally appreciate you more for who you are than even what you did on set. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And everybody at home, please check the description box below to get some information on the charities from Mary and Kenneth, and take care of each other and send Kenneth a load of love. I censored myself there. Just send him a ton of love, everybody. Right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We'll see you on the next. Sorry, say that again, Kenneth.
I'll keep fighting for everyone. Yeah. So I want.
Our prayers are with you, man. We want you to be strong and healthy as long as you can, man. And we're here fighting with you. We're in your corner, man. People love you.
We love you. Yeah.
Thank you. I want to stick around.
Yes.
Thank you.
Keep smiling on us.
He's got a warrior's heart.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned for the next video. You can find it at the very top of the description box, which is right below this video. Right below the video, you'll see a little link. You'll hop over to the next one. And Kenneth is dancing.
Dancing.
He's like, are you guys still here? What's going on?
Nice. He's doing donuts.
Yeah.
Donuts. All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.